A Michigan prosecutor has filed a terrorism charge against a man accused of stabbing 11 people at a Walmart store. The charge has been rarely used in the state's court since it was adopted more than 20 years ago during the national outrage over 9/11. The Grand Traverse County prosecutor said she believes the charge fits because the weekend attack was intended to, quote, put fear in the entire community and to change how maybe we operate on a daily basis, end quote. But proving that could be difficult. Bradford Gille has a history of mental health problems. The suspect also faces attempted murder charges, one for each Walmart stabbing victim. A not guilty plea was entered for Gille, and bond was set at $100,000. The hearing, though, started with Gille saying he did not want to take part.
So this is the courtroom and the prosecuting attorney and court-appointed attorney, but my DC attorney. Okay.
Do I have to do this?
I've just talked to him and it's not going to hurt you in no way. They're just going to talk to you, okay?
I don't want to.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gille or Mr. Gille. How do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you.
All right, so that was part of the hearing from just yesterday. Again, a not guilty plea entered for Gille and bond set at $100,000. In the meantime, we are getting new video coming into the newsroom as bystanders were able to stop that suspect detaining him for police. This is video filmed by Chris O'Brien. You can see one of those bystanders there holding the suspect at gunpoint as police were able to take him into custody. Again, this video here just coming into the newsroom. I do want to talk much more about the situation that unfolded over the weekend outside and inside of that Walmart over in Michigan. Tiffany Defell was in the parking lot of the Walmart and joins us now to discuss what she witnessed and how all of this happened. Tiffany, I can't even imagine what you're going through. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And first off, can you kind of walk me through what you heard, what you saw as you got there?
Well, when I pulled up to Walmart, me and my sister were actually going there. I was out working for Uber Eats. And right before we had pulled up to Walmart, I had actually gotten a phone call from my younger daughter, kind of trying to have me avoid the area because she was like, there's a lot of commotion. There's a lot of police, fire trucks, ambulances that are kind of all rushing to the scene. So I kind of ignore the warning that my daughter was giving me. I continued to proceed to Walmart. And as me and my sister had pulled into Walmart, all you see is nothing but, police everywhere, people running in the parking lots, employees standing, fire trucks, ambulances. It was just a whole chaotic scene that was there.
Did you have any idea what was really going on? Again, as you mentioned, you got kind of a heads up that something was happening, but at that point, did you know what was happening?
We didn't really know what was going on. I was hearing multiple things from different people, from people calling me because they knew that me and my sister were going to the Walmart. And so, at first we had heard that it was a possible abduction. Then across the phones, it came up as active shooter. And so it was all coming into pieces, and it was still all confusing and just a state of chaos. And then happened to where I had parked. I had actually parked to the Good Samaritan, Derek Perry, who had actually pulled the pistol to help subdue the subject. Me and my sister had actually parked right next to him. And me and my sister were talking amongst ourselves, trying to, figure out what was going on with, the people on the phone, the people at the scene. And that's when Derek then proceeded to, let us, inform us that, hey, it's not an active shooting. In little words, he basically let us know that, he did what he had to do to help, stop the suspect. And in the midst of the conversation, I had noticed on his sleeve of his shirt that there was some blood on his shirt. And, so we pointed it out to him, just to make sure he wasn't injured. And that's when he proceeded to say, no, that's his. And all of that. We thanked him for, the heroic efforts that, him and the others did. And I remember him telling me, there's no thanks here, there's no thanks needed here. And it's like, you are I am so thankful for him, you know, because if it wasn't for him and everybody else, this could have been way worse than it was.
And you're looking at that video. That's him right there in the video. What
Yeah.
goes through your mind now, several days later, as you watch this?
It's scary to think that, you know, if I would have arrived at that store moments prior to all of this, you know, that could have been me and my sister. You know, my sister was going in to get feeding tube supplies because my sister has terminal cancer. So we were going there for there. I was there for an Uber Eats pickup order, you know, and it goes through my mind all the time, you know, situations like this. Because like I've said before, this is stuff that you see out of a movie. This doesn't, you know, happen in your backyard of where you live.
Did you get a look at that suspect as he was being taken away?
Unfortunately, I was not. I was too far away. I was more close to the Staples parking lot because everything was blocked off, so I couldn't proceed further. But at that point, he was already taken into custody when we had pulled up.
A lot of people have heard of Traverse City or Grand Traverse County. Can you kind of explain to me where it's located? Because I know a lot of folks will describe it as a tourist area. Obviously, there's a lot of people that live there as well.
Definitely a lot of people live here. It's a big tourist town, especially during the summer. You know, compare it to the wintertime, like you don't see as many folks here. The town here is absolutely amazing. Everybody, you know, comes together in, you know, all sorts of events, whether it's, you know, circumstances like this or just, you know, trying to help someone out with, you know, food, clothing. You know, Traverse City is such an amazing community. You know, they stand strong together. Like this town would definitely give the shirt off of their back to someone to help somebody in need. They definitely would here.
And Tiffany, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. This is some of that video, probably what you saw there as you were arriving. Anything else that you want to add here about what you saw, what happened there before I let you go?
It has left, you know, scars on a lot of people. You know, this is traumatizing. You know, I'm afraid now to go out and work, you know, because of this incident. You know, it's going to take some time. You know, as I say, you know, it's TC strong, Michigan strong. Just continue to pray for the families and the victims of all who was involved. And, you know, we will all get through this one day at a time.
Tiffany, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and the story of all of those folks there that were at the Walmart. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.